Thank you. So welcome everybody. I'm Grace, a senior here at the high school. And for the past couple of years, I've been in charge of these assemblies. These are for us as students to celebrate the work of other students that may not always be seen. So thank you to our band. And thank you. Although the first person I'm going to introduce is not a student, it is our band teacher, Thomas Lazat. Mr. Lazat was awarded the Thompson Award, which is the highest award a teacher can get. The award was established by Tim and Nancy Thompson in memory of their son, Timmy, a former Cape student. It honors a faculty or staff member who goes above and beyond what is expected, providing a lasting and meaningful impact on Cape Elizabeth students. I'm honored to present Mr. Lazat to start off this assembly.
The Tim Thompson Award was really the highlight of my teaching career. And as Grace mentioned, it's really considered the highest teaching award that one could receive for a teacher at Cape Elizabeth. And the beginning aspect of that came from the result of a tragedy that the Thompsons had. And many of you know about what the situation was when Timmy had graduated from school here and had some real depression issues, and he unfortunately took his own life. And when that happened, the Thompsons said, we need to do something for the Cape community, making people aware of issues of this sort. They, in the CEHS, decided to put together a scholarship and a CEHS award that would be given to a teacher. And to me, it's such a high honor because of the other teachers who have received this in the past. I'm in really good company, let's put it that way. Mr. Jordan has won it in the past, and those of you who went to middle school, most of you know Joe Dome. They are a couple of my teaching heroes to be in that same category with something that means a lot. And after I received the award, I really learned something very, very important. And that was in conversations with teachers here, almost uniformly, their reaction was, this is so good. It's about kids. And we talked a lot about kids. We talked a lot about you because there are so many teachers that are on this faculty who deeply care about you. It's not the kid behind the book. It's not the kid behind the football helmet or the iPad or the musical instrument. It's the whole child. And there are a number of teachers on this faculty, like I would say just about everyone, who has a deep concern for you beyond what happens in the classroom. That's something that's very, very important for you because that's something you can rely upon if you're having a difficult time. The teachers at this school care very, very much for each and every student, and I'm very, very proud to be a part of the faculty of that sort. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Lazat, for performing that. So next up is Alison Ingalls. She's going to perform for pecha kucha. Pecha kucha is a form of presentation that was created in Japan by two architects who were fed up with long, boring PowerPoint presentations. So they decided to put a twist on them. Each presenter gets only 20 slides that stay on screen for 20 seconds each, for a total of 6 minutes and 40 seconds to present. Since the creation in 2003, Pecha Kucha Nights have taken off and now occur in more than 1,000 cities across the globe. Alison Ingalls, a senior here, presented at the Portland Pecha Kucha Night in May and is here today to share it with all of you. Alison is the president of the Yellow Tulip Project Ambassador Network, which was recently chosen as the top pick in a nationwide competition sponsored by T-Mobile. She's here today to share her story of what ultimately led her to getting involved with this organization.
From day one, I was an exuberant, positive kid. I was surrounded by an extremely supportive family. I absolutely loved school. By junior high, I had made it my mission to join every club that was offered. And when there were things that I wanted to do, but there wasn't a club at this mission, I even started a few of my own. When high school began, this trend continued. I was able to travel to Nicaragua to embark on service work. I made varsity in all 3 sports I played and continued to receive the high marks I always had. But there was another side of me. but I realized that I myself had been imprisoned by this silence. Excuses like a doctor's appointment when really I was going to therapy, or explaining a cat clawed my wrist when the marks were actually a product of a late night panic, made my life easier in the moment, not having to explain myself over and over again or deal with the awkward and terrified reactions that would manifest in my teachers, peers, or family's faces. I'm tired of these lies, and I'm tired of playing into the stigma of mental illness. I'm ready to break my silence. I've struggled with anxiety and depression. Depression makes it hard to feel anything and leaves me feeling empty and lonely. Nothingness. Sometimes that is better than feeling every emotion at once though, which is what happens when my mind is overwhelmed by anxiety. Last year, along with dealing with these symptoms, I was overcome by confusion, frustration, and embarrassment. I constantly asked myself, how could I, someone who was fortunate to grow up the way I did, be suffering or have anything to complain about? I was ashamed to tell anyone how dark I felt, with the fear that they would wonder the same thing. It got to the point where what I feared most wasn't the dark place I was in. What I feared most is that my family wouldn't understand, that I'd lose my friends, that I'd be written off as crazy or incapable. Instead of reaching out for the help I so desperately needed, I put on a mask, and it worked. I'd slap a smile on my face and get through the day. Between the reputation of the perfectly happy girl I was trying my best to maintain, and my own self-appointed stigma that someone like me couldn't possibly be mentally ill, I kept my struggles neatly managed and hidden from the people closest to me. But I didn't always have the energy to put the mask on. For example, last spring, after a particularly hard morning, I was walking down the hallway with the school social worker, with tears streaming down my face. In an attempt to make me feel better, a teacher of mine, coming the other way, smiled and said, "Don't worry, she'll get over it. She's smart." We've created this stigma where it's socially acceptable to ask for help when you're physically ill. But when your mind needs help, it's really best to bury it. Leave it hidden. Pretend the problem doesn't exist. I tried so hard to snap out of it or just be happy, but ultimately, trying just isolated and exhausted me even more. On April 1st of last year, I woke up in a hospital bed. It was no April Fool's joke. From the deep gashes on my wrist to the chunks of hair missing from my head to my destructive plans of suicide, I could not keep myself safe. How did this happen? How did I end up here? I've grown up with the world at my fingertips, access to an incredible education, an intact, supported family, and a curious, positive outlook on life. But that didn't make me immune. What I have learned since is that mental illness does not care who we are, how we were raised, or where we are from. About 2 years ago, I attended TEDx here at Cape Smith High School. One of the talks, titled Hope Happens, truly lit a fire in my heart. Julia Hansen told her story of losing two of her best friends to suicide while simultaneously struggling with her own depression. Julia culminated by explaining how even in the darkest of times, she managed to find hope. Her words rang true to me and gave me strength. However, I had no idea that I would see Julia again, let alone be so deeply impacted by her and the organization she founded, the Yellow Tulip Project. YTP has helped me to better understand my own depression and anxiety, and it has brought so much light and hope into my life. I am now president of the YTP Ambassador Network and on the board of directors. Our mission is simple: create a platform to smash the stigma surrounding mental illness and help people who are struggling feel less alone. In just 2 short years, the Yellow Tulip Project has jumped from a sweet and approachable Facebook page with a simple, hopeful message to a passionate and engaged nonprofit active in over 50 schools and communities across New England. Now, more than ever, as suicide is becoming more and more prevalent, especially among teens, it is crucial for leaders to step up and take action. We have avoided talking about mental illness for so long, and because of that, it is awkward and scary and challenging, but it is also courageous. Kindness and community are central to the Yellow Tulip Project's mission. Words can hurt, but they can also heal. We need to be there for one another. If you think you know someone who is struggling, just talk to them. It's as simple as that. Be candid and kind and honest. Before becoming a part of the Yellow Tulip Project, I was constantly walking around believing that everyone else was perfectly happy and normal, wishing I wasn't the only one who had to struggle with my mental health. But what I realized is, when you start the conversation, others will follow. An incredibly powerful example of starting a conversation is the I Am More Facing Stigma traveling exhibit created by the Yellow Tulip Project. Faces of 22 courageous individuals with 6 I Am statements, each showing they are much more than their mental illness. I'm Alison. I'm 17 years old. I'm a part of Seeds of Peace. I'm an athlete. I'm an advocate. I'm dealing with depression and anxiety, but I found hope. While Juliet and I have profoundly different experiences, I'm hoping by sharing my story in the honest and genuine way Julia did, I will touch someone, even if it's just one person, in the way that Julia touched me. Our goal is to start a ripple effect. I will end with the wise words of inspirational speaker Alana Ingalls. Your story will heal you, and your story will heal somebody else. When you tell your story, you free yourself, and you give other people permission to acknowledge their own story. Thank you.